Now let us continue this crusade against these worthless mutants and their enabling owners. One of the most disrespectful forms of physical violation is when these dog nuts allow their worthless, stinking mutt to physically violate you, to allow their mutt to run freely after you come into their home. They have not informed you that they have a dog, and they have not asked you if you are a dog person. But they plan on violating you. They want to let their dog physically violate you. This is the most disrespectful, uncivilized behaviors that dog nuts carry out on people who are not dog people. I read a comment from a viewer. He said, dogs have no respect for boundaries. He said, this is the single most important aspect about dogs which makes them absolutely unacceptable. He said, it is a question of the right to personal autonomy by law, not a mere question of preference. We are all entitled to our personal space. All of us, as humans. This is a human thing. It's not a dog thing. It may even be a dog thing, but dogs don't show humans that respect. They may not walk up to another dog that they know is dangerous, but they'll do it to humans because they view humans as stupid. But in any case, this is not a human thing. Right? We don't walk up to other humans that we don't know and start sniffing and licking on them. No animal violates the personal space of humans the way dogs do. Even if dogs never attack anyone, I would still hate dogs. Your best bet is to stay away from dog owners. This would be a major reason why I hate dogs. I hate when people get right up in my face. I'm talking about humans. When they talk to me, I don't understand people who do that. They'll put their face inches from my face and they want to talk to me. Anytime a person does this, I take a step back. If they take a step forward, I'll take another step back. They eventually get the message. I can hear you just fine. 3, 4 feet away. I don't want or need your face inches from mine. Now, when it comes to these stupid mutants, that's the first thing they do. Is put their ugly, wet, stinking face in your face. Sniffing everywhere, all over you. To have any creature put its face in your crotch, human or not, is a serious personal violation. I don't care that it is an animal, a dog. I'm not. As a human, I don't have to accept dog behavior being imposed onto me. I'm not the one who needs to be understanding. I'm the human. Yeah, that's what dogs do. So let it do that with other dogs, not me. Dogs don't even lick each other as a show of affection. So why would I think it's licking me as a show of affection? Now, dog nuts, that's what they'll tell you. That it's being friendly. They allow the dog to violate you based on the assumption that it's being friendly, that it likes you. No, it is begging for food, but that is irrelevant. The problem is that that person is being physically violated. Their right to personal autonomy, their personal space, is taken away from them without their consent. And in this scenario, the person is having saliva, among other things, wiped onto them by that disgusting mutt. Now, to assume that a person won't mind this is to assume that that person is savage. As I said before, no matter how attractive a woman may be, I would not approve of a random woman walking up to me and licking my face anywhere on my body. Humans don't greet each other that way. Right? And because I'm a human, I'm not obligated to accept being licked simply because it is a dog. Now, when you explain this to Dognuts, they still don't get it. They don't understand your standards of decency, cleanliness. They don't understand your overall civilized, humane behavior, educated behavior. Right? Their brain freezes. They don't get it because they themselves have brought themselves down to a dog. Dognuts are slow to catch on to the fact that all the attention shown to them by dogs, including licks on their faces, is the dog's way of begging for food. Dog attention, physical violation from dogs. It is even more infuriating when you know that it is actually begging to be fed. Right? So I'm even more enraged than a person who simply enjoys their personal space but does not know that this mutt is actually begging for food. The more you know, the angrier you become. Now you would think that Dognuts would lose value for dog licks and dog attention once they figure this out, that it is not affection. But no, they won't lose value. They will continue to pretend and tell themselves that it is affection. I read this article titled, "Why Some Dogs Always Beg for Food." No, all dogs always beg for food. Some are simply more straightforward than others. It says, quote, "Most dogs will eat their whole bowl at mealtime. This is not because they were really hungry and needed to eat it at all, and really needed to eat it all, but rather because as scavengers, they do not understand that they do not need an unlimited supply of things to eat. This behavior often leads to them asking for your food while you're eating, or constantly begging for you to give them treats or place more food in their bowl. The problem is if you typically give them bits of food when they do this, you are reinforcing the thought process and encouraging them to beg for more food from you in the future." End quote. I knew this guy a while ago. He was a dog nut. And I would go into his home. As soon as I would walk through the door, his disgusting mutt would run right up to me. And it would always sniff at my hands and bump its nose at my hands. Even would nibble at my hands. Even after I put my hands into my pockets, it would be nibbling at my hands and at my pocket area. It was not being friendly. It was begging for food. Right? Dogs view humans as stupid creatures that will oftentimes dispense food from our hands, treats. That is why they always sniff at our hands. They're trying to be fed. Do you have something? Do you have something? As soon as they encounter a stranger that they do not decide to attack, they sniff the stranger's crotch and the stranger's hands. Not to get the person's scent. They're sniffing your hands to see if you have anything in your hands to give it, to eat. The dog nut, they will tell you to go ahead and pet it, right, while it's doing this. Just imagine if you know that it is actually begging for food. And here's dog nut telling you, go ahead and pet it because it likes you and it's being friendly at this moment. No, it's looking for what it can get from me, food. If you pull a treat out in this moment and give it to the dog, that mutt will follow you around all day. It will be all over you constantly. Is it being more friendly? No. It wants more food. Now a dog nut could hear this video. They could do the research and even admit that this is true. But they will still tell their company that the dog is being friendly. That is how dog nuts are. Very dishonest, deceptive. You have to stay away from these people. You may work with them, but you cannot go inside of their homes. When they invite you inside of their homes, tell them thanks, but no thanks, because I hate dogs. If you are not stern about it, they will try in small stages to expose you to their mutt. You have to tell them directly that you don't want to see their dog, pet their dog, or be in the same home as their dog. Even if they offer to put the dog away, stay out of that home. Not only is it contaminated and filthy, but if you go inside, they will eventually let it out. Their goal is to force you to be physically violated by their disgusting, slobbering mutant. And very few things feels better than to see more and more people speaking out against this gutter, subhuman lifestyle. It may take time, but change is inevitable.